Yeah.
Okay, hey, I'm Sticky Hip. I've been on sabbatical this summer, and one thing I decided to do was to do a big puzzle that my wife had got me for a gag gift a couple years ago. And so my cousin and I started it on Memorial Day, and so now it's the end of August. So basically that's a summer puzzle. So this puzzle, I just did the exact calculation. I think it's 72 by 44. Is that right? Anyway, it turned out to be 3,168 pieces. I think unfortunately this puzzle's been around a lot with the kids, so I'm missing a piece. So maybe that piece is somewhere here. But so I was going to go through and show you, here, back on me. I was going to go through and show you how I approached this for such a huge puzzle. So my cousin's idea was to get some cookie sheets and just do it's kind of like a merge sort algorithm. You find pieces very early that you know you're not going to deal with for a long time. So in our case, that was pretty obvious that the pieces that represent the continents on the map, and of course the ocean, which is vast, we just filtered those out and threw them, didn't even turn them over. I mean, we just kind of aggressively put them aside, and they were back here on the buffet. So what we focused on first, I always start a puzzle with the edge. So we got the edge done, and then we found these big letters. These were really distinct. The other piece that we could do was another layer into the edge because of this distinct pattern. And then also the pattern around here on the bottom let us start going with this, and this guy being so much larger than everybody else, he was easy to find. Then I think we did these. These weren't so bad to find, to actually get this rounded piece. And so then you had kind of a shell of the puzzle done, and I've got pictures I'll share on Flickr of some of the progress. So then I tackled in to finish doing these guys and all of this. And it turned out that a lot of the little details were very hard to distinguish. So if you look down at some of the detail on any of these guys, it's all done with a stencil or some sort of penciling. And so all the little details, that made it very hard to distinguish beyond the pastel colors of any of these sections. And so I would take big portions of what looked like it would apply and try and fill in each of these horses, find the faces. Actually, this blue section was pretty easy to do. But in fact, I couldn't finish these horses in this top section until I was well along the way and finishing all of these sections, and actually these as well. And even some of these, there are people here, there's people all in here, lots of little detail, and there's fruit and vines and trees and stuff, I don't know, representing the melding with nature. At any rate, so we finished that, and then then it was on to how do you tackle, what is by volume, half the puzzle? So another 1,500 piece puzzle that was just all the stuff in here. So the first piece I did was, you could see there are these lines here. There are these two obvious lines. I finished this one through the middle. My wife and my cousin helped quickly finish some of these easy ones that we got in, and actually the words were pretty easy to do. The big words here, big words here. So then we started to stitch those together, get some pieces together. And then you can see here there are these other meridians, like this is the Tropic of Cancer, and the Tropic of Capricorn, this green, but they exist on both sides, so you had to kind of take a pool of everywhere you found them. And there are some of them, like right here, this section, the boundary of the blue line looked so similar to these pervasive lines everywhere that I didn't find this piece until the very end. Anyway, once I got that in, then I went and found the different colored continental edges. So there's green, which is Africa. Orange represents really China and South America, although the orange tone on South America was a lot darker, so I could kind of piece that apart. A lot of little details in the islands. This is kind of cream, and then here's green for Antarctica. There's some penguins here for another face of Antarctica. The pink represents North America, and
no one can tell that's pink.
yeah, well, it's kind of pinkish cream. Yeah, I mean, it depends. The way the light shines with the pieces is tough. Anyway, so I finished those. There's a boundary here between Europe, which was yellow, and Asia. And so then finally, at the end, I went into tackle, finishing all the boats and the critters, the flying fish, the sea creatures, but the boats. And some of these guys there were pieces that just tortured me for months and months until we finally kind of got them settled. And then late last night I stayed up and I finished these big sections of just...
Pretty much finished everything. He did finish everything besides this little piece right there.
Yeah. Yeah, so I finished it last night on August 22nd, and I'm delighted. I'll leave it up for a couple days, and then I want my table back, and we'll have a dinner party. Thanks, guys. If you like this, press like. What do you do, Zeke, for YouTube?
Subscribe.
Subscribe, yeah, right. Subscribe, and maybe you'll see more videos like this for puzzles. See ya.